Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are doing good over there. Today I'm bringing you chemistry. Our subtopic of today is about reduction oxidation reaction, commonly known as redox reaction. So read from reduction and ox from oxidation, and therefore it's referred to as redox reaction. So with me here I have an equation. I hope you can clearly see it. Copper plus oxygen, the product that you get is copper oxide. So copper is being burnt in the presence of oxygen, and as a result we get copper oxide. So oxygen is being added to copper. The process is known as oxidation reaction. Oxygen is being added to copper. So oxygen is added to copper, and the reaction or the process is referred to as oxidation reaction. Copper is getting oxidized. You can see the result, copper oxide. So copper is getting oxidized. Copper is getting oxidized. So whenever oxygen is added to a certain substance, the process is referred to as oxidation process. From the word oxidation, or from the name oxidation, this means that oxygen is being added to a certain substance, and the process now is commonly referred to as oxidation reaction. And this substance that is being added, or this copper that is being added with, or that is being burnt with oxygen, it's being oxidized, or it's getting oxidized. Let me write another equation over here. We have copper oxide plus hydrogen. We have copper plus water as the result, as our result. So we have heat. This is now heat. Copper oxide is being heated in the presence of hydrogen. This is hydrogen and this is copper oxide. So we are heating copper oxide in the presence of oxygen, and as a result we get a copper metal plus water. This is water over here and this is copper. So there is something that has just happened, or there is a process that has just happened. When we add hydrogen, or when we burn copper oxide in the presence of hydrogen, we are getting another product, which is copper and water. This is water and this is copper. So what is this process that is happening? The process is now known as reduction reaction, meaning oxygen is being removed from copper oxide and we are having copper metal. It was initially a copper oxide. Copper oxide, that means we have presence of oxygen atom in that compound, but now we only have copper, and another new product has been formed, water. You see, so copper oxide has undergone reduction. We have removed oxygen from it. So copper is undergoing reduction reaction. Reduction. This is reduction. So copper oxide, remember that copper oxide. It's not copper, but it's copper oxide. This one that you can clearly see it. So copper oxide is undergoing reduction reaction. Oxygen is being removed. So oxygen has been removed. Initially it was copper oxide, but we are removing oxygen from it. The process or the reaction is referred to as reduction reaction. So this process, oxidation reaction and reduction reaction, it's known as redox reaction. So this is now redox reaction. So this is redox reaction. Reduction reaction and oxidation reaction. So let me elaborate using this equation. Copper oxide plus hydrogen. I'm heating it to get copper plus hydrogen plus water. Copper oxide, I'm burning it in the presence of hydrogen to get copper plus water. So copper oxide is undergoing reduction so that you can get copper metal. So copper oxygen is being removed. So this process is reduction. We are now adding oxygen to hydrogen to form water. We are adding oxygen to hydrogen to form water. And I've told you, whenever oxygen is added to a substance, that is oxidation. Oxidation reaction. So we are adding oxygen to hydrogen to form water, and we are removing oxygen from copper oxide to form water, to form copper, sorry. So the reduction, this is reduction reaction. So you have clearly seen that, and I want to add something else. This is oxygen. We're getting a compound that is copper oxide. So the overall charge of a neutral atom is always 0. So this is now the atom, and the overall charge here is always 0. The overall charge of a neutral atom is always 0. Note that. So for oxygen molecule, its charge is 0. Now for copper, we have a 0 charge. For oxygen, we also have a 0 charge. But when these substance combine together to form a compound, for this case, this copper oxide is our compound that has been formed. For a compound to be formed, there must be exchange of valences. We all know copper has a valence of +2 and oxygen has a valence of -2. So for a compound to be formed, there must be this interchange of electrons. So copper has 2+. This is now our charge here, and for oxygen it has negative charge. What is my main point? I'm trying to say this. Copper, it has to lose these 2 electrons from its outermost energy level for it to gain stability. And for oxygen, it has to gain 2 electrons. So what is my point here? For copper to be stable, it must lose electrons. For oxygen, it must gain electrons. So whenever there is a loss of electrons, there must be an addition of oxygen for the process to be known as oxidation reaction. So let me write this. Loss of electrons and addition of oxygen. The reaction is oxidation. So we have seen for copper to undergo oxidation reaction, it must lose electrons. And you can clearly see here, it must lose these 2 electrons. And for oxygen, whenever there is a gain of electrons, and removal of oxygen, the reaction is reduction. You can see here, gain of electrons. Oxygen is gaining 2 electrons. At the same time, oxygen is undergoing reduction reaction. You can see copper is being oxidized. And for copper to be oxidized, there must be addition of oxygen. And the reaction is oxidation reaction. So you must note this, loss of electrons and addition of oxygen. The reaction is oxidation. Gaining of electrons and removal of oxygen. The reaction is reduction. So this marks the end of our video today. Remember to like, subscribe and comment down below. I hope our lesson today will be of a great significance towards your studies. Bye bye.